The Cartel Accountant. Level 1. The First Favor. You are 26 years old. You have an accounting degree from a mid-tier university, $34,000 in student debt, and a job at a regional firm processing tax returns for small businesses. The work is tedious. The salary is $41,000. The office smells like burnt coffee and ambition that gave up sometime around 2014. A man you know through your cousin asks you to meet him for lunch. He is well-dressed, not flashy, careful. The kind of well-dressed that doesn't want to be noticed. He runs what he describes as an import business. He needs someone to clean up his books before a bank review. Nothing complicated, just making sure the numbers tell a coherent story. He puts $4,000 in cash in an envelope and slides it across the table. You know something is not right. You don't know exactly what. You don't ask. You tell yourself it's probably just a cash business that skims a little. A restaurant. A car wash. Nothing serious. You've seen it before. Half the small businesses in the city run some version of this. You take the envelope. The work takes you 1 weekend. You file it away and don't think about it again. Until he calls 3 weeks later with another job. This one pays $7,000. You say yes before he finishes the sentence. Level 2. The Retainer. 6 months later, you are on a monthly retainer. $11,000 a month deposited into an LLC. Your new employer helped you set up. You have quit the firm. You tell people you went independent. This is technically true. You now service 4 businesses: a trucking company, 2 restaurants, a construction supply distributor. On paper, they are unrelated. On paper, they are legitimate. You are the person who maintains the paper. The businesses generate cash, large amounts of it. Your job is to move that cash into the financial system in quantities small enough not to trigger reporting requirements. Under $10,000 per transaction. Spread across multiple accounts, multiple institutions, multiple weeks. There is a word for this. You know the word. You don't use it. You think of it as cash flow management. You think of it as the kind of creative accounting that happens everywhere, in every industry, at every level. You are not wrong that it happens everywhere. You are wrong that this is the same thing. You buy a new car. You move into a better apartment. You tell your parents your consulting practice is doing well. They are proud of you. You are good at your job. That part is true. The first rule. The moment you make the numbers work for someone who cannot afford questions, you are no longer an accountant. You are infrastructure. Level 3. The Architecture. You are 29. The operation has grown around you the way a city grows around a river. Not because anyone planned it, because the geography made it inevitable. You now oversee the financial structure of 14 businesses across 3 cities. The trucking company moves product across borders. The restaurants process cash that was never near a kitchen. The construction distributor invoices for materials that were never ordered from suppliers who don't exist. You have learned a vocabulary that wasn't in any textbook. Layering, placement, integration. The 3 stages of moving money from a criminal origin to a clean destination. You handle all 3. You design the system that handles all 3. You have 2 junior accountants working under you. They don't know the full picture. Each of them sees one piece. You designed it that way. Compartmentalization is not just an organizational principle. It is a legal strategy. The less each person knows, the less each person can say. You have met the man who runs the organization twice, both times in unremarkable locations. A parking garage, a hotel lobby. He spoke quietly. He was polite. He thanked you for your work. He told you the organization valued precision above everything else. You understood what he meant. Precision means no mistakes. No mistakes means no exposure. No exposure means everyone continues. The alternative to everyone continuing is not discussed. It doesn't need to be. You have not seen any violence. You have not been asked to participate in any violence. You process numbers in a home office with good lighting and a standing desk. The distance between your spreadsheets and what funds them is vast and carefully maintained. You maintain it carefully. Level 4. The Expansion. You are 31. The operation has crossed borders and so have you. Not physically, not permanently, but financially. The architecture now spans 4 countries. Shell companies registered in jurisdictions chosen specifically for their opacity. Nominee directors whose names appear on documents and ask no questions. Bank accounts in institutions where the relationship with regulators is understood by everyone involved. You work with a lawyer in one country and a banker in another. Neither knows the other exists. You are the connective tissue. You are the only person who sees the whole map. The money moves in a pattern you designed over 18 months of iteration. Cash generated by the operation gets placed into the legitimate businesses. The businesses invoice each other for services. The invoices create paper trails. The paper trails tell a story. The story is fiction, but it is internally consistent fiction, and internally consistent fiction is indistinguishable from fact to anyone who doesn't know where to look. You know where to look. That is why you are valuable. That is why the number in your account every month has grown from $11,000 to $47,000. That is why there is a property in your name in a coastal city you visited once. That is why there is a conversation happening right now between your employer and a banking contact about moving you into a more formal advisory role that would give you access to instruments you cannot currently reach. You think sometimes about the version of you that didn't take the envelope, the one who stayed at the firm, the one making $58,000 by now, $63,000 maybe, processing legitimate tax returns in an office that smells like burnt coffee. You think about him less than you used to. The thinking gets harder the further you go. That is not an accident. That is how it works. Each step makes the next step feel like the only logical direction. You never made one enormous decision. You made 1,000 small ones. And here you are. Level 5. The institution. You are 34. What you built is no longer a system. It is an institution. It processes between $200 million and $400 million annually, depending on the season and the corridor. It employs, directly or indirectly, dozens of people who each understand their piece and nothing more. You have a legitimate consulting firm with real clients who pay real fees and have no idea who else is on your client list. The firm gives you a reason to travel, a reason to meet with bankers and lawyers and financial professionals in multiple countries, a reason to exist in the spaces where large amounts of money move between jurisdictions. You have an exit strategy. You have had one for 2 years. You know which account holds the funds. You know which passport gets you to which country. You know which lawyer in which city holds the documents you would need to disappear cleanly. You have not used it. Every quarter you tell yourself, next year. Every year the money is larger, and the exit feels more complicated, and the organization has become more dependent on the architecture only you fully understand. This is not an accident either. Indispensability is protection. As long as you are the only one who sees the whole map, you are valuable. The moment someone else can read the map, you are a liability. You redrew 2 sections of the architecture last month. Subtle changes, nothing anyone would notice, but changes that ensure the map remains yours alone. You are not certain when you made that decision consciously. You are not certain it was ever a decision. It may have simply been the next logical step. They all feel that way now. They have for years. The money is real. The properties are real. The accounts are real. The life you have built is real in every way that can be measured. The other things are also real. You don't measure those. Level 6. The distance. You are 38. You have not processed a tax return since you were 26. You have not thought about that office or that salary or that version of your life in longer than you can accurately recall. You live carefully, not extravagantly. Extravagance draws attention, and attention is the only thing that can reach you now. You drive an unremarkable car. You live in an unremarkable house in an unremarkable neighborhood. Your neighbors know you as a financial consultant who travels frequently. Somewhere in another city, in another country, in a warehouse or a vehicle or a room you will never enter, something is happening that funds the spreadsheets you manage. You don't think about that room. You have never thought about that room. The architecture was designed so you would never need to. The design was yours. A federal task force in a jurisdiction you monitor has been active for 7 months. You know this because you have a contact who tells you these things. The task force has names. Not your name, not yet. But names that are connected to names that are connected to you through layers you built specifically to absorb exactly this kind of pressure. You spend 4 days stress testing the architecture. You find 2 points of exposure. You close them. You sleep better afterward. Not well, better. This is your life now. Not the one you planned. Not the one anyone plans. But the one that assembled itself one reasonable decision at a time, from a lunch where a man in careful clothes slid an envelope across a table. You were 26. You needed the money. The first one was just a favor. They are always just a favor. Somewhere tonight, a young accountant just got a call. Someone his cousin knows. An import business. A bank review coming up. Nothing complicated, just making the numbers tell a coherent story. There is an envelope on the table. He is looking at it right now. He is doing the math. The math works. It always works at the beginning. It always will.